Hello, everybody, and welcome back to
Boo, you whore.
a show about horror, beauty, and everything in between. My name is Benji, and I'm as toasted as the Cheez-Its I want to have.
My name is Mac, and I hate gay Halloween. What do you mean you're Madeline Hatter saying fuck the big picture, Clint?
My name is Mikey, and I'm not just hot, I'm extra toasty.
My name is Morgan, and bitch, I'm just high.
And
Oh my God.
today we are going to be reviewing season 6, episode 5 of
Dragula.
We hope everyone has enjoyed the Halloween season, but now it's time to get to business. All right. Found her notes. Okay. So we have a consistency of the mansion now. So lovely intro. They give us things of the things. Um, so the ghouls start entering the lab two at a time. First it was Pi and Asia, and clearly we get the Alliance side story.
They had to put those two together. They
Yeah.
said,
They
we're going to
really
send them in
did.
pairs, and these two are going to be the first two so they can be alone together.
hmm
Inserts Tiffany's, I think we're alone now.
Very that.
Oh, and then during their talk, because they're like, we haven't really been able to utilize this alliance. Asia says that if the chance comes, she wants anti-heroine to fly on the first broom home.
Which is real. I mean,
It's
like,
so real.
hmm
I don't know. Maybe it's the like reality competition fan in me, but like I'm going to be that bitch. If we're in a competition and I have the opportunity to take you out, sorry, I
No,
didn't
we're
make the
not.
rules. I'm playing by the rules, and they let me throw you under the bus. Sorry, girl.
I'm not sorry.
They want
Yeah.
those gaggy moments.
No,
Like,
not just that, and I think this goes for all of us. It's like if we were in that setting, don't let a bitch tell you that you wouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah.
Be like,
I mean, the bus is already moving, so
Right.
hi
And like,
Regina.
mhm,
in order to win, you have to beat the best. Well, if that's the case, and those are the rules that are allotted to me, I did beat the best.
exactly.
right. Like it's not I have to beat the best at the end. Like I beat you in the middle of the road so that I didn't have to deal with you at the end.
Also, there's always
Exactly.
Titans too, or Resurrection too.
Two
So
hmm
woods diverged in a yellow.
work.
Poetry, poetry, mama.
I don't even remember.
Road less traveled.
Listen. But then next we get all to say I would love to see Auntie at the finale. She's not on my list. She's not on any of our lists, but I would love to see Auntie at the finale. Um, Speaking of Auntie and Jahari come in. They're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And Jahari over here is like, "Maybe they both left." Which I mean, real. That it's a very odd circumstance. They normally walk in like the safe group. No,
I mean, obviously, like once something like that starts happening, you're like, oh, okay, something went down with this elimination
hmm
that is going to be important. Whether it's one of them went home or both of them went home, both of them stayed, or something else.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right.
Yeah.
Next walked in Aurora and Yuri, and then Vivi pops in solo, and my heart drops to my ass because
Literally.
I didn't believe it for a second. I saw Vivi
uh,
walk in and I'm like, oh, so Grey's about to enter and we're about to find out that a certain artist has left the competition. And
Yeah.
well,
It
Well,
was pretty clear what was happening.
mm-hmm.
there was also a side note that I put because Aurora's entrance look to go into the lab on this day can't like
Mm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
it was so cunty. I was like, I can't wear that and she can. Damn.
Like, that's my life.
Listen, she now lives up to her mother too. It's true.
Hmm.
And does.
And um and then all of a sudden Gray pops back up into the workroom, and as we so
God.
heavily rumored, um Majesty everyone was talking about Madge, and then a producer or a showrunner, I'm not sure because they didn't like title or feature her when she came in, left a little note in the middle, and
Like
it
my thing
Where's
about this
Israel?
moment, hold on, I just gotta say this. Like, y'all couldn't have given the note to like Israel or something.
Yeah, I'm like, where's Israel?
Like, I'm sure this is a lovely lady, but she had like her headset on and everything. And I was like,
Yeah,
where's the
It
like
came very last minute,
even
obviously.
yeah.
where's Ian? Like that
Ian wasn't
that
there this season.
oh my God, I
Like
miss
like
Ian.
this is the first time he had said when doing the interviews with the monsters that he's watching this as a fan for the first time. Like this is the first time he hasn't been like heavy there to see everything happen.
Damn. I need that Ian little cameo every season to keep my heart going.
Well,
I'll take Israel. Thank you.
Hmm. Hmm. ¿Por qué no los dos?
but on a more serious note, quite literally, Majesty does end up leaving the competition.
It
Oh, and sorry, just really quickly, that one little small fight that did end up getting premiered did come to light afterward because it was
Hmm.
although that was all of it aside from James having a or sorry, ooh, I didn't wow.
Oh,
Charles? James who?
please.
We don't speak about that one.
Me last
Um,
episode.
by
Hmm.
uh, the only thing that we didn't see was Majesty having like a full-on breakdown.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Oh, I mean, we did see her kind of having a breakdown in the call or in the lab in that one episode.
that's true, but like a behind-the-scenes one, not to that extent.
Yeah. It was
Ah,
clear Majesty wasn't in a great place to be competing. And
no.
I think she wasn't getting what she needed to get out of the
Mhm.
competition for her to be able to stay. Um,
Yeah, it was just rough all around.
yeah.
I mean, you never like to see somebody quit a competition for
Yeah.
any
No.
reason. So,
Yeah.
I
It's a
I
shame.
I will say that I really enjoyed a lot of what they had to show from
hmm.
like the first episode with their like apocalypse like vampire look, and I remember their like doll look being so creepy and interesting,
Mhm.
Hmm.
and other looks which I can't remember, which were probably really good too. Um, no, like I thought Majesty's Drag is definitely getting there, definitely like good. Could have potentially won a challenge, maybe. I don't know, but there's always Titans too.
The compliment falling off the tracks slowly but
Well,
surely.
I have to keep it real. I have to be honest and real.
Maybe like could have won a challenge, maybe sometime.
Potentially.
Like there's always room.
I worry that this is the last we see of Majesty. I wonder if they won't want to come back,
Yeah.
and that would stink because I think they're a really great artist, and I think like especially their run on season two is part of what made that season so
Hmm.
good. Like,
Mhm. It's the reason that when I go through my like Dragula binge watches every so often, I would want to skip to season two because season two felt like from the beginning to end that girl.
mhm.
Hmm.
And I think even still to this day is my favorite season.
I mean, the first thing that I could think of in my head was Abora's Cenobite look. Like that's the first thing. That was the first stamp on the season as far as looks. So that
Abora.
always Abora on
Not
Huh.
season.
Victoria Elizabeth Black.
Yeah, I was thinking Victoria Elizabeth Black with the like the skin on the circle and at the reveal.
And don't get
Mhm.
me wrong, I love that look. I still think Victoria should have won. But
Lore drop, I guess.
when I talk
Sorry.
about a pivotal moment, I'll pick the ball back up. Thank you. Um,
Hmm.
but when I'm talking about a pivotal moment for me that like sticks into my brain, that stamped, that was one of the first times I was like, oh, this is when season two was coming out periodically, still on YouTube, but like you had to start that like week of anticipation to wait for the next one. And like looks like that, I was like, oh shit, it got real. Like that's when the budget started budgeting.
And
So
they
that's what I think
they
of.
they put together a really fucking stellar cast that season.
Hmm.
Literally. It's the reason why I think almost half the cast was season two for Titans.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then um two out of the three like regular season returnees that we've had have been from season two in Dolly and Majesty.
Hmm.
They said, surprise, season two is the best. Uh, but I was, I mean, we expected it, but it's sad to see an artist, especially of that caliber, knowing what they're going to bring and present, be in such turmoil at home to where they're like, I can't do this. Because it's honestly in no fault of their own, you know.
Hmm.
Like maybe this will open the door for Titans now that everyone was questioning, but
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let Majesty cook it a little bit.
Hmm.
yeah, they'll
Get
have some
back on
time
the
to cook for
skillet.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
There was some discussion in regard to, and I think Jaharia kind of opened this up to whether a spot was wasted for someone else to come into the picture, or if this was just Majesty doing the right thing for their personal health.
Well, considering they had a spot for Desiree Dick and
Hmm.
Scylla,
Please.
I
Please.
think we're good.
Who would y'all
Please.
want to see on Dragula that has not been on Dragula?
Um,
I would like to start and quickly say that there are twins that get rumored every so often. And I think it would be really interesting to see a pair of twins compete. Although we have on a different
Yes, Sugar and
show.
Spice. Let's bring them on. Dracula.
No, but there are twins and their looks are always like the same and it's very interesting and I would like to see how that dynamic would work and like I want to see I would love to see a Conti like the death scene at the end of the episode and it's two of them. I want to see what they do with
Mhm.
that because that would be really interesting to see.
there's a performer in Connecticut named Glass Stain. Um,
Ooh.
they were featured on Dragula season one. Um,
Mm,
but
Mhm.
they like I think they're one of the queens from Connecticut that I think fit the Dragula brand the most. And they're just a stellar performer. Even when I was doing drag around them, I think we were both still pretty new to drag, and they were already just such a talented fucking performer.
Yeah.
I would love to see Glass Stain on Dragula.
I'd like to see like Charity Case
Same.
in UK3.
Well, I saw like this like conspiracy post because apparently Charity was cast on I think season three of Dragula,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
something happened in like the like getting her out to wherever
Like,
they film or something,
Hmm.
was it
and so
visa
she didn't
wise?
end up going. But then it's rumored that she like reused some or a lot of her looks that were meant for Dragula and like repurposed them for the categories on Drag Race.
Oh,
I forget which ones exactly, but somebody made this whole post like linking all of
Oh,
the categories to like looks that she had.
Period.
I literally just looked up like a wish list for Dragula season 7, and there's some really interesting um artists with some really cool names. Filthy Rich, uh Matt's Major, Lilith, Androgen from New York,
I've definitely
um
seen that name on wish lists before.
Oh, you know what?
La Freak du Show from Montreal. That'd be cute.
Mm.
Clon, Incubus. Yeah, there's some really exciting, Dracula's never gonna go away.
I hope not.
I remember I think it was like oh, why am I frozen? Hello. I think during like season 10 or 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race, I remember thinking they're probably gonna finish the show after like season 14 because they're gonna run out of drag queens to cast. I'm like, nope, that's not the case at all. Especially with like not only Drag Race but also TikTok just kind of creating all these like up and coming like bedroom queens.
It's a machine. Drag is taking over the world,
Mm.
little by little.
The AI season. I'm waiting for that.
Mama, we would be
Catch us in the
prepared.
mini tonight.
Bye.
Yep. And when I dress up as Ainsley, I hate
Uh,
gay Halloween. What do you mean you're Ainsley from Big Brother 26? Anyway,
I hate gay Halloween.
anywho,
What do you mean you aren't Tucker as Angela in AI controlling the week?
Right.
I hate gay Halloween. What do you mean you're janky after he died?
I hate gay Halloween. What do you mean you're Julie Chen and her fuck ass Bob?
oh my God, love.
Sorry, Julie Chen Moonves. Forgot.
Exactly.
I forgot her full title.
You're not a child of God, Morgan.
I
Love
know.
one another.
I'd be Claire if that is my favorite clip of. Have y'all seen that where it's editing like Claire in her eviction interview? And Julie's like, "I know that you are a child of God," and then it flashes to like a picture from Claire's Instagram where she's like literally painted as like a satanic, demonic individual, and then it flashes back to Claire. She's like, "Yeah, yeah, I am." It's like, no, man.
Oh my goodness.
I love that.
She's talked about it after being like, no, I don't, I'm not religious whatsoever. It was so weird for me. What am I supposed to say?
Right.
Like,
Especially like live on national television.
literally, and like, why is this a thing you're asking me?
Real.
Okay, so back down the windy road we go.
Whatever we're talking about.
So
The road less
ironically,
traveled.
the the most interesting thing was that Auntie was one of the first ones to advocate for Majesty, and people were asking, like, is that coming from the fact that maybe you feel guilty about like pressing into Majesty, about like narcissism, or is she actually just, seeing Majesty for Majesty?
I mean, I think it's probably like a win-win for Auntie, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
I think especially the way she was talking to Majesty, it sounded harsh, but it sounded like she was like, I want to be able to have this respect for you. I want you to be better.
right.
Mhm.
But and I think Auntie like she knows that like this was probably a good thing for Majesty's mental health. But at the same time, she can also be happy that such a strong competitor is out of the game.
Yeah.
Two things can be true at once, I think.
I felt like the episode wanted us to be like to blame Auntie in a way. Like it felt like they were really pounding on that multiple times throughout the
This,
episode.
yeah, it felt like this episode like was weirdly like dunking on Auntie the whole time.
Hmm. Yeah. it was strange. I don't know about the editing of that because before this it seemed like Auntie was one of the people we should be rooting for, and then all of a sudden it's like maybe Auntie's like about to just be in the bottom and go home again. They're like done with her.
Yeah.
And then Jury, wow. Yuri jokes that Majesty should have dropped out before she had to jump out of a fucking plane.
Well,
Mhm.
girl, they still they still made Gray and Vivi do the elimination. So
Real.
It was a funny like I will say I feel like Yuri's really stepped up in the entertainment department like
mhm.
on purpose and like to the point now where like I can tell that you're like pushing it a little bit
She's
because
yeah.
mama, what are we talking about? And like it literally wasn't even that funny and everyone like it just felt forced. It felt like something she wouldn't actually say.
I mean, I live for it.
I'm like, okay, get that screen time.
Right,
It's giving
exactly.
storyline rag storages.
Listen,
Literally rags in the promo.
Do what they
huh,
want you to do. Provide that soundbite.
real.
Hmm.
I feel like she's gonna have the most by the time we're finished.
Hmm.
Good.
Bitch.
So the challenge is issued, and we get rewritten versions of Dragula the Musical from Alaska Thunderfuck's musical Drag the Musical.
Hmm.
Work.
So they are put into two different groups. Group one, we have Jaharia, Aurora, Asia, and Pi. And then group two is Yuri, Vivi, Gray Matter, and Anti-Heroine.
So,
I
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was shook that the bitches had to sing live.
Ew.
I
No.
I live for this. Like on paper, I was like, I love this challenge. I love that. Like I'm a little sad that we're not getting Monsters of Rock, and I've learned
I
recently
know.
on Reddit that like a lot of people really don't like the Monsters of Rock challenge because they think it's cringe for them to just be like lip syncing to like like pretend being a rock band. Like, but I think it's camp. And like what I like that this brought to it is that they actually had to perform. Like
Yeah.
they had to sing live. And I I think like one of the things that isn't like a tenet of Dragula, like filth horror glamour, but I think is still so important to the Dragula brand is camp. And
Real.
that's what this was like was looking to be giving for me. On paper, that's what this was going to be giving.
I
So
don't
I
get
was
the,
I was really excited.
I don't really get the Reddit girls who are like, oh, Monsters of Rock is like cringe. It has literally some of the most iconic moments of the show has came out of that. We've got
Hmm.
like the pins in season three, like coming out of Hollow Eve's mouth at the wrong time, and like that whole moment. There's a boar with that. I think a boar had like stilts or something in season
Yeah.
two.
Hmm.
It's
For her
like
for her individual look, yeah.
yeah, like that was super cunty. And like last season we had Neo Hoodoo using the guitar like a purse. Like, I'm sorry, serve cunt. Serve cunt. So like, I don't know. This is to me the equivalent of like the Snatch game. Of like it's the one challenge you know is gonna be there.
Hmm.
That's not just like a runway category.
Well,
Runway, ew,
this season,
gross.
this season, it's Snatch Game of Love, Mama.
Yeah, clearly.
I
Yeah.
thought that was season 5.
No, girl, they did the Tammy ad and everything.
Well,
Literally.
real, but there was an actual situationship the entire season.
Well,
Well, yeah,
two things can be true.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get Monsters of Rock again?
I
I
hope
think
we get it back. Like,
I do
I
miss
don't
it.
want a musical. I don't want a like. Okay, I'll just speak my truth. I was gonna stay silent and be a good girl. I was reprimanded before filming started.
I was
Um,
wondering how long it was gonna take.
um, but listen up, because this is like it's getting to a place where it feels sort of like mainstreamy now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like before, it felt so gritty and like just all of it felt like Dragula brand. And now we're doing like Tammy ads and we're doing a musical for some reason. And you could tell none of these bitches do that shit. Like none of them, like even Auntie, who's like the theater one,
Yeah.
flubbed the hardest. So I don't know. It just felt
I
weird. It felt out of place.
I can agree with
I
that.
I love when the challenges are things that the artists would do in real life. And I think a perfect example of that was when the final four question, I think, yeah, the final four in season two had to go to
Oh, yep,
Burning Man and they had
yep.
to
Wasteland
perform on
weekend.
stage.
Hmm.
Like stuff like that. Like that's what they do. That's like one of the prizes of like making it to the end is that you go on tour and you know you do the kikis and whatnot
Yeah.
and you do a
The
little
keys and the
twirl.
kakarakas.
Exactly. And sorry, I've got a bad habit of just replying exactly. Um thank you, Giagon.
That
Absolutely.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But like I love when it's kind of realistic in a way. Like I also like this new format change slightly of like one elimination. The extermination is literally a lip sync. That's what they do. They lip sync, or most of them
Literally.
would.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Most of them would.
Oh god. Oh, I love like toward the end of the announcement, the Boulets were giving a little like drama and conflama. It was so cute with Swan just like being dramatic for no reason other than to be dramatic.
I love that.
Oh, and there's a legendary quote from Mother this season, and it's, "Who the fuck is Susan?"
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, you guys.
Shakes Bob.
Yes. Um. So, okay. So the we read out the two groups already. To me, the group two that I mentioned, which is Yuri, Vivi, Grey Matter, and Auntie, they give that parallel of like, this team's doing great. This other team
Mm-hmm.
is attempting. Uh,
I think it was a little shady that they made them try to do their own choreography and then brought in a choreographer.
Yeah, they love
Like
to do that though.
but it was camp watching those four try and come up with anything.
Oh my gosh.
all
That
for
scene
them
was
when the
struggle
choreographer
bus
came in to be like,
down.
"Oh, the stage is over there."
Literally, like none of y'all are on beat. None of y'all are doing the same thing with each other. It's giving nothing. Like,
I
it was
mean,
really funny.
after seeing what was happening with the ghost train and how only one of the three trios did any like choreography together, I get it. Why they would like, actually, we need help. Dr. Phil, are you around?
Not Dr. Phil.
I'm
Not
sure
the
he
bus
could do an eight
recorder.
count. Anyway,
He got that.
he can do the. I'm
Really?
sure he could do a windmill, the wind up.
Thank you, Jackson.
Fuck yeah.
But I said group two was looking shaky, while group one, Jaharia was giving Jenny Ortega tease with all the choreography that she could muster. I
But
loved it.
she still put in that drag 8 count.
Oh, and
Hmm.
did the ha uh-huh. Oh, and then Pi
Yeah.
splits their pants as Aurora reminds Jaharia that she has a bionic hip while doing the splits.
That's so mean
Ew.
coded.
Like she better have a bionic hip. That's for sure. Even her bones are designer, mom.
Yes.
That's mother.
I do need to see a TikTok edit of the SpongeBob song "Ripped His Pants" while
Even
Pi
with
does
pie,
that. Yeah,
Bye.
her whole coochie was hanging out.
Girl, that's not what's happening.
It was a thing. And Alaska also comes in for vocal training because they have to sing live, mama.
Honey.
I was shook.
I love Alaska.
I loved that she wasn't afraid to read the girls a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she kept it real with them.
hmm Like this is not something you should take up professionally after this.
Like
It,
not your gig. Like
And that's okay, but we're gonna get you through this.
right.
I don't know why, but it was such a mind fuck seeing Alaska and Yuri talking together. Because it's like my brain wasn't like computing that, like, oh, Yuri is currently in America and where they're from New Zealand and they're talking to Alaska Thunderfuck. Like, that's so weird to me.
It's
Yeah.
Um,
that we're seeing them talk like on screen together for the first time, not on Drag Race.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Interesting reunion or meet up, I guess.
I mean,
Interaction.
when you think about it, it's like two drag race eras kind of coming together because um, Alaska is coming from what we consider like the original school or the old school compared to,
The golden era.
yes, the golden
hmm
era compared to like Yuri, who probably idolizes and looks up to that kind of drag, you know?
And
hmm
I hate to say it, but Yuri is from the dark ages of Drag Race.
That is,
Yes.
oh, that's true.
That was a good season, don't
It was
hate.
better than season one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
by
And
far.
and who would, yeah. I mean,
when you can
anything can top Down Under One, and who would want to top Coco, you know?
Nope, not too much on Coco Jumbo.
Haha,
literally
stupid.
Get
Oh, she
her on a version
chilling.
of the world, honestly.
She's chilling.
honestly, and can I just say something? Every time I do a drag race simulator and Coco Jumbo is on it, Coco Jumbo eats.
Mm.
So I think it's a sign.
It's a sign. Um,
Oh, she should be back for All Stars?
Yes, like she should be
Why
back
not?
already.
Like
They
I
kind of they kind of
when
got
she
me
said,
fucked
"Oh
up
my
how they
gay
did her.
girly god," I felt that.
They got me fucked up with how they did her on
Oh
that
my
season.
good gay girly god, like ate down.
She ate that.
She wanted to be Roxy so bad and like kind of worked.
Exactly.
If only, they just allowed her to be Black China.
Exactly.
Literally.
Literally.
And like to be honest, I can't sing, so I would do like a character or I would like put on
hmm
a
Real.
funny accent. I'll do something funny with my verse
Be like, you
because I
already have
can't
one,
sing.
bitch.
Well, yeah.
Funny accent check.
Breathing. Check.
Ooh, I don't know. My watching this watching this like the vocal training and stuff with Alaska,
Yeah.
I keep thinking like I can't sing. I'm going to do like a weird accent, and if I'm given a character, I'll play up to it. Like if I'm
Mhm.
old, I'm like "Rah, rah, 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 rah." Well, I don't know, just like do something. Do something. Like don't sing. Just like be
Um,
goofy.
I love how all old people sound. Hey, row, 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 row.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember
Yeah.
I remember when my grandma said that to me for the first time.
Literally.
Ah,
It really sticks with you.
exactly.
um but yeah, I feel like there are definitely ways to like play around not being able to sing. Like they're not
Yeah.
I think especially in a challenge like this, the boulets aren't judging you on how well you sing, they're judging you on how well you perform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they did touch on a lot the aspect of like implementing your character
Mm-hmm.
into what you're doing and like making your character stand out was really big for them,
Yeah.
which I think is a really good thing to latch on to when you're not a good singer.
For sure, you got to give them something,
Hmm.
that they'll remember you by.
Yeah.
Nothing really too, nothing much really happens until the floor show. So our guest
Mhm.
judges are Alaska and Darren Stein.
Of course.
I
Ooh.
mean, what else? We wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah, definitely.
And he was up in drag, mama.
Oh, the
It was
80s rock
cute.
hair.
He got ready for the Monsters of Rock, or that it was rats and snakes, and he's like, "Oh,
Literally, they,
okay."
they
The
were like,
Eureka hair loaf.
he got to set all done up that day, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, we changed the challenge. It's not Monsters of Rock anymore."
Literally. Literally. They
Takes
set
the
him
bread
up.
loaf off.
Mhm.
He
The
too
JoJo
purchased the
special.
Yamakant.
And
Hmm.
did.
Period.
All right,
Anti's
so
impact
fully.
The Eureka
Speaking
erasure.
keeps erasing.
of,
Oh,
so we are
Their non-binary T is valid.
period. So we are gonna go in those groups here. What I labeled as group two started with Yuri, Anti-Heroine, Vivi, and Gray Matter. They called themselves the Rats.
hmm.
I mean, work. So first on the docket, I do have Anti-Heroine. A rat.
Like the look, if we're just talking about the look, 8. I think it was successful. I think I really love the like whatever she's got going on with her eye, like the um I think it was well done. The shit her pants moment, that was camp, it was Phil. I think like if we're just talking about the look from Auntie, killed it. Unfortunately, this was not a look challenge. This was a performance challenge. And we touched on it a little bit already, but Miss Auntie flopped unfortunately.
Yeah, very much that. It was actually kind of really sad to watch because all leading up to this, it was like, yes, I'm the theater one. I'm the one that does this. And you're just expecting that. Anne has been doing so strongly in the competition. So you're like, okay, well, they're just gonna. And they kind of tried to make it seem like in the episode that it was because of Vivi, like throwing off balance. But no, Mama, that's not what happened. That is not what happened. Do not try
And
and tell me that.
Auntie was the only one who was affected by it too.
Yeah.
And like they even commend Gray for it later, but they were like, you helped pick it up
Yeah.
afterwards, like after it got all jumbled. And so like it's easy to blame Vivi in that moment, but like I don't think that's accurate.
Me either.
Agreed. Auntie, I thought was going to be my undisputed favorite until she fucked up. Like,
Mhm.
quite literally, this was for her to practically. The win was sitting for her. It was waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the minute she fucked up, I was like, damn it. Just like,
It really was. It's like a car crash. You can't look away from. You're just like,
Hmm.
ooh,
literally.
girl.
Yeah. I
Ugh.
get really bad secondhand embarrassment and I had to pause it and like
Yeah,
give myself a second.
We've all been there to where it's like, nah, fuck.
like just ooh,
Hmm.
girl.
Hmm.
Are we booing or wooing the looks, or are they
We
all just
still
like,
we still can, yes. So I overall her look is phenomenal.
Yeah, for look only, it's a woo from me. I don't know if I'd call it phenomenal, but I think it worked for
Yeah,
the character, and I think the shit pants moment was successful.
I think it's a soft
yeah,
woo.
It's a soft woo.
Yeah, the
soft
outfit's a
will,
soft
so
woo, and I'm old.
Ooh,
The one line she got.
Yo, it's been
literally.
sticking in my brain for the longest time. Quite literally, as I like work, I'm like, I am old, and remember, my leaves are very much the same way. Next, we are going to discuss Miss Vivi the Force.
Now, why
Hmm.
she have that slice of pizza?
Hmm. You should know she's from New York. She's giving a New York rat.
Like,
Girl,
okay, I
she's from
guess.
San Diego, bitch.
I was
No, but
about to say I
I'm
don't think
saying
she's
like
from New York though.
the rat is from New York.
Um, it's like
Speaking, Mama.
uh, Miss
You're the expert
Vivi.
here, Rat Key.
Miss Vivi, I'm so sorry, Diva. I'm sorry that you you had to like completely flop like this. Like that was unfortunate. And
Hmm.
like I I wish I could say that like Auntie that the look was good and that can be forgiven, but it wasn't really. And I didn't get the pizza. I don't get why she had it. I'm sorry, Miss Vivi.
It was just
Yeah,
kind
as
of
a
nothing.
fellow performer, that's my big ick is being offbeat. Like
Hmm.
Mama, the two and the four are right there. But the minute I heard when while she was getting her critiques as well, when they played back that she was still offbeat at rehearsal, the backing track was still there. Or no, not at rehearsal while they were performing, because you could hear the backing track.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like, girl, she had three chances. But
it's a
like
no for
the
me.
definitely like she allowed the pressure to get to her, and by by that point, there's not much else you can focus on.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it seemed like she was just nervous and rushing
Hmm.
because she was like, I'm trying to get this over with.
Real.
Yeah,
It was a big
Miss
old
Miss
boo.
Miss Vivian Westwood
Oh,
didn't
Sorry.
do it for me this time. And I say that with gratitude.
Boo.
Boo.
it's yeah, it's unfortunately a boo all around for Miss Phoebe.
There is no Anglo, but I am Aggie because she did poor. It's a boo for me. All right, let's see. Next on the docket, we got Gray Matter. I just realized they were wearing a corset.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, one thing I really liked about Gray's look this week, and the Bouvet's touched on it, was that it gave more drag.
Yeah.
I think that is what they were looking for Gray, and he they still didn't have to prescribe any gender to it, but it was done up. They had like a really beat face. They were wearing the corset with the stones and stuff on it. The
Hmm.
the headpiece with the ears and the spikes on it was really cool. Like I think Gray out of all of them was giving the most rat.
Hmm.
Um and I also think the outfit was just cool.
I do really like that Gray helped with giving the other performers noses and ears to work with.
Hmm.
Did did Gray make four noses and ears and be like, I like this one the most and this one the most, so I'm gonna take these? Potentially. Um,
Well, hers were probably already made.
Yeah.
T to be yeah. T to be honest. Um, yeah, I really like, especially like the neck up. I really like what they have going on. The corset is cute. Um, and yeah, it's like it's good overall for sure.
I think
It
out
was
of
a
this,
cute moment.
huh?
It was a cute moment.
It was. And as far as my favorite out of this group, I'm trying my best not to be biased, but Gray did a really great job. The characterization from the gate didn't even make me think, oh shit, this bitch can't sing.
Hmm.
No, and they embodied it, and it was two Gray's kind of like comedic camp style, so it really worked.
Wasn't my number one from the group. We haven't reached that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like from this group,
Hmm.
real
I
speak.
think I think my number one look is Gray's.
Agreed.
That's great.
Last and certainly not least, we are going to be talking about Yuri.
Yuri, I'm so proud of you. Um, I'm like I feel like watching Yuri, I'm giving like supportive mom, like soccer mom. I'm like,
Hmm.
woo! Um, Yuri, I really like Yuri's look a lot. I love that they're go they're like kind of like feather boa, but it's like little little like little
Hmm.
trash bags. It's like glamour filled. It's smart, and it's why I think that gay people were just super creative, or at least most of them. And I really enjoy what Yuri was doing in the performance and on the look. And obviously I might have a little bias, but Yuri to me was my favorite uh from this like group. And if that group had have won, I was thinking that Yuri could have snatched that W.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if they were being judged individually, Yuri certainly would have been in the top.
Yeah.
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 I loved Yuri's energy. I loved Yuri's character. Like, went off without a hitch. She put her inhibitions to the side and was like, fuck it, whatever happens, happens. And it really worked in her favor. She looked gorgeous, as per usual. But it's nice to see Yuri like actually continue to step out and out of their box to really shine. All right, I think that yep, that was everybody for Rat House. And next we're gonna have Snake Pit. We can start off with Pie.
Um, so overall, I think these looks are fun, and I get the like 80s rocker vibes that they were going for.
Hmm.
Snakes, these are not.
Yeah.
What do you mean? They've got a little bit of green makeup on.
Girl,
And that's
Now
all
I
stuff.
why are they green?
and I think like the Boulets mention it in their critiques too, but like they didn't really they didn't really have any character besides being
Hmm.
members of this girl group.
Yeah.
And I think that was one thing that the other team did a lot better. What this team did better was everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the one thing they had them beat on for sure. But in every other aspect, this team just knocks it out of the park.
Mm-hmm. And even when it comes to like Aurora, who was the worst performer on the team,
Hmm.
Like she still gave enough and was like committed and trying and knew her stuff, knew her words, um, and gave it a character somewhat, um, to play around the fact that she couldn't sing as well.
Hmm.
Exactly. So with Pi, like, there's really not much I could critique on their actual performance. Um, After seeing it a second time, I was like, okay, like I see why the result was the result. Like they were fully present even when it wasn't their turn, which is so nice to see. Like you're continuously being watched. Now as far as the outfit, not my favorite. I mean, it's not like it's the most grand, like the grandest thing in the world, but it for the challenge it fits and
I mean,
tries
does it
to.
fit?
I get like it
Well,
it fits
actually, no, I
in
did get a
that
little Gene Simmons, TBH, but
Mhm.
it fits in that like it is cohesive with the rest of the looks, but like
mhm.
It doesn't fit your body.
oh, and like I just there for me I needed them to have some more snake, like especially with how far the other team leaned into the rat of it all.
Hmm.
Like it just didn't it was that was a missed opportunity for
Yeah,
me.
it felt like
Mhm.
with the whole Snake Pit team that it was like almost the absence. Like there was nothing going on in like your outfit department at all. Like
Right.
you're basically all wearing nothing. It's
This would
like,
have been this would have been great for Monsters of Rock. If this was Monsters
yeah,
Yes.
of Rock, those outfits would have ate down. But
it
like
Real.
felt like they like stuck to that instead.
but yeah, there needed to be more character, more something else for
Hmm.
all of them.
Yeah.
And like and so I like Pie. I think they did a good job this week. I'm in the party of people that believes the win should have gone to somebody else on this team, but
Oh, I'm on that train.
Yeah. And it,
but
I was more focused on watching the highs and lows of the rat group to really. I think overall with the snake group, everyone was kind of. I mean, Aurora was bad. Sorry.
not too much on
But
her.
then the other three were like they had some good things. Um, but it wasn't like wowed
I'm
personally.
gonna be an Aurora truther. I've decided.
We
Aurora
know.
Aurora gave herself a good part and
Hmm.
she acted the fuck out of it.
Exactly. And did. And ate.
I agree
Okay.
that Aurora ate that one thing.
Hmm. Right,
I
right,
think
right.
I think Asia like did good but was a little forgettable, and we'll talk about her look later. But
Mhm.
the I think the standouts of the group for me, one of them was Pi. I think Pi did a good job, and they were making themselves known with all those little riffs and ad libs.
Mhm.
Um, but for me, Miss Jaharia,
Oh, was that girl down?
I was sad that I feel like they could have given her that moment,
I
Yeah.
agree.
and
Um,
I'll touch on it when we talk about Jaharia.
oh, for sure.
But
Um,
I think Pi did good, but I would have given the win to somebody else this week.
Real. Next we are going to talk about Miss Asia. Um, I forget, was she was either in the middle or like toward, excuse me, the beginning. But her first like couple of lines were a little softer. I feel like she was holding back a little bit and
Yeah, like I said, she did a fine job. She held her own, but it was just like kind of forgettable. She was just kind of there.
Yeah.
yeah.
It just kind of blended into like their team had a good blend, but that also led to like them not really standing out as individuals,
Yeah.
even more
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
it's hard to critique this team specifically,
Right.
individually.
Yeah.
They were able to put themselves all on pretty equal ground.
Hmm.
And I think that it can be good, but um, if they didn't end up winning, it could have ended badly because they all.
Yep.
I mean, they probably would have put Aurora in the bottom, but then it would have been a toss up between the other three.
Mhm.
Leave Aurora alone.
Hey, I said they would probably have, not me.
Hmm. So who would you have put in the bottom?
If it was this group,
Aurora.
Back up.
I mean, I probably vote for Asia and honestly, probably Asia and Pi because at this point we know they're in an alliance. Throw those bitches in
Real?
together.
Hmm. Real.
I will say she out of the people that were supposed to look snake-like, she did at least attempt to look
Yeah,
the most snake-like. I just
she
don't think
had
it read.
she had her Asia consent makeup on. Like she's
Right.
always
Hmm.
she's always going to give a severe paint. But even
Right.
that, it would it wasn't giving Snake.
True. Like aside from her being green and maybe some scaling, I
Yeah,
think.
they both really did not. Like, none of them gave Snake down. Like, imagine we had like a bunch of reflective, like almost iridescent, like coats and stuff, like rocker coats,
Yeah.
Hmm.
or like a snakeskin boot. Like, what happened to a snakeskin boot?
That would have been cute.
What happened to
I don't know, girl. But
that?
speaking of snakeskin boo, up next we have Aurora Cosmic. Yeah, for me,
And
unfortunately, like she did like she not to say she didn't perform well, but like out of the people where I consider a struggle bus, she was one of those for me because I think she managed to use her characters like
when she wasn't dancing, she did great.
no real, yeah. Like she was
Hmm.
able to focus, her lines were cute, like she gave that good old bit of energy for theater. Like it was the right amount of camp for me to where she
Yeah.
Hmm.
made it. But like if we were talking overall, she would be in the bottom.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Even though I am gonna be the defender, I like that you can play your role so well. Like, it really, like, you understood the character, you understood what you needed to get. So I appreciate that. Other than people that just like did an okay basic job, I appreciate that more.
Real. All right, and last but certainly not least, the Kenny Ortega of this group, Jaharia.
Oh,
She loves Miss Kenny Ortega today.
She does. She does. I don't know why.
literally.
He's literally choreographed oh god, a shit ton of stuff. But I think Jaharia definitely captivates a damn good stage. She knows how to take control. Love watching her perform. Hopefully we never have to watch her perform for the wrong reasons. But
Hmm.
Hmm.
you know, she was there, but I feel like she was holding back a little bit. Like I could
Yeah.
it looked like she was focused, but I don't think she allowed herself to have fun because she was like got a lot on my fucking shoulders.
And I think
Hmm.
I will say I was really impressed by her vocals. I thought like I was surprised. I didn't Jaharia didn't necessarily strike me as a singer. I mean,
Mhm.
neither did Pi or Yuri, but all three of them I think surprised me with their vocal talents.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
The performance aspect was really good. And like, when you're already impressing your choreographer, that's when I'm like, okay, you should be getting extra props.
Right. And that's what I think I was sad that she didn't really get props for like from the
Hmm.
judges is that like
Yeah.
she put in the damn work for this challenge and she
Yeah.
made sure her team were in a good place all together. I don't know. I was sad Jaharia did not get the win. And I
No,
think
Yeah, so
especially with the like storyline that they're trying to give her of like, we need you to believe that you're the star. So
mhm.
show her that she is the star because you're telling her that she is.
yeah,
Give her
I hated that. I hated that being like, you need to find out that you're the star. And so we're not going to give you the win. So you have
right.
to earn it. It's like, I did earn it. I just earned it. Just because you want
Literally.
to like force me down this like storyline path where I don't believe in myself. Like,
No,
Yeah.
literally. Like,
We
God.
we already had this storyline with Severity.
yeah.
We don't
Like
need
I'll
it
believe in
again.
myself a lot after I get my first win. Like,
The groups come back for deliberation, and the winning group is, unsurprisingly, Snake Pit.
yeah. They just did better overall.
They did. And overall, the winner of the challenge was Pie. Which I mean,
Right.
Congrats to her.
congratulations to Pie. Although I
Hmm.
do agree with my sister, Maikiana Rubiana, just because feel like Jaharia put in like the effort and the look. Yes, I sounded vocally a little better than Jaharia, but like that's the one time I wanted it to be like, bitch, put in the work,
Yeah.
give her her win. But I also see where the Blues are coming from when it was like hearing her say that she should step into what she has, because once she does, she's fucking unstoppable.
Hmm. And it feels like Pi has more of a storyline they can push to of like the strong people getting into an alliance and protecting each other. Like these are the strong competitors, they're working together. See, Pi has a win. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't super wowed by anyone in the snake pit, to be honest. Like, I remember watching it and be like, okay, they performed. Like, I wasn't really like, oh,
I
wow.
mean, I feel like we can be honest here. Like, I'll be completely honest. If this was judged completely individually, I would say that my winner is probably on the other team.
It's either
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like,
Yuri or Gray.
it's
Yeah.
Yuri or Gray.
And it's Yuri because I'm
Yeah, and it's
delusional
Yuri.
and I'm
No,
biased.
for me, it's Yuri too.
Okay, oh my God.
Like I like
Um,
I'm
Yuri
gonna be the
more.
one. No, mine would have gone to Gray.
I
she
could
wants to
have
be
given it.
different.
I could have given it to either of them. I think if
Agreed.
Yuri or Gray won, I would have been happy. I think
Like,
Yuri deserves a win at this point, though, and it's just a
so
shame.
real.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
know.
and Gray, you're welcome for not going home. I want to know who
Literally.
won. I want to know who won the holding the fence.
Oh, I know. Like because I feel like
The
the
people
the
want to know.
Mhm.
the only like maybe sort of hint we get is that they let Vivi walk in first when they come back, but like
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that.
Like, I need somebody to do like a Reddit Q&A and
Like
answer that question
leak
No
the footage.
because
real.
I want to know.
Maybe we'll find out in the reunion.
Yeah, like we find out that Gray lost because I feel like they would show it if it was Vivi that
Yeah.
lost. No, no shade to Vivi.
No tea, no shade. But some of my other favorite quotes from this section of it was Yuri said, "We weren't doomed from the start. We were doomed from the second verse."
I
Literally,
agree. I agree
literally,
because
it was so good before that.
Auntie was like, Vivi's the reason we flopped. How dare Vivi? I'm like, you forgot your words.
Like
Right.
you
Own
also
up to that.
flopped. You made it a joint flopping session. Like,
Right.
They said puff puff pass blame. Just
and like maybe you did bring it back in the end, but you still you still flopped at one point. So
Like
it doesn't
Like,
like balance out.
Yeah.
Take some accountability, you know?
Mhm. Instead
And
of it all
then
being bad, it was only a portion bad.
and the other quote is, "My dancing was offbeat, but isn't this off Broadway?"
Bye.
By Vivi.
Exactly.
I literally like rolled my eyes so hard at that. Like, be gone, wench.
Listen, not the
Wench.
wench. But no, I was like, oh, girl, like, come on now. But ooh, it was Gagula up in this episode today because the only people that were allowed to go back to the cauldron were the four winners because they would be deciding who the bottom two is from the other group by
Well, don't get me started.
a vote, a fucking vote.
I
I'm sick.
no, I'm not because
I was so
early,
pissed.
at the beginning of the episode, people were talking about like, oh, it's a game, and I'm like, I would love a twist if you could just like choose who the bottom two was, and then this happens. I'm like, oh, so I'm throwing Gray and Auntie into the bottom two, right? And then
And they
they
were so
start to
close.
discuss.
They had it. They were going to do it, but then they just chickened out. Like,
And
what?
like, this is Dragula, like the key of life and death. Like
Like,
Jade
do
throwing
something.
Bitter Bitty in
Y'all
the
are supposed to
bottom.
be like
Like
crazy on this show.
bring that's why we need Monique back because Monique would do that shit.
Literally, Majesty would have done that. Like,
Oh my
be
God,
serious.
Majesty, please. Yes.
I'm so like, I'm not kidding. That was the most disappointed I've been the whole season so far, by far. I was literally
I
like, what? Are you freaking kidding? You're
like
not gonna do it? Why are we even doing this then? Like,
Right.
why are we spending so
little
much time on this? If I
You
was
know
mad at the
what?
editing.
I think I know I potentially have a feeling on why they did it, and I mean it's valid. I for entertainment purposes though, not the cutest decision. But
do
what if
what's
they're
fun.
like, that literally do what's fun? You're only here once. Um,
Literally, like make a TV.
I'm hashtag team audience.
Literally, I that's how I like to play games. Like if something crazy comes up, I'm just gonna do it. Just
And
for
like
fun.
Team good feeds, girl. Like,
team good
Exactly.
feeds.
Literally.
I love Game of Thrones, and one thing I love is seeing the characters plot together against other people.
real.
Like I love a good plot, a good plotting. So seeing them in the cauldron plotting away, being like, "Oh, these two great competitors, let's throw them in the bottom, and one of them's guaranteed to
I
go home." I'm like, yes, I don't care if like as sad as it would be to see one of them go, they're going to return in a future
mhm.
season at some point.
Oh,
Like it's
undoubtedly.
okay. So like I'm like, yes, let's do it. Let's get it. Also, I want Yuri in the finale. Um, and
I love
I'm like,
I love that Yuri was the only one that kind of like didn't get touched during this whole thing.
Yeah.
yeah, Yuri was safe, and I'm like,
They're
thank
like,
God.
you're still not a threat, but you did good. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
fine.
Right. They were like, you didn't do bad enough for us to be able to like reasonably put you in the bottom, but you haven't been doing good enough for us to like see you as a threat and want to put you in the
Real.
Hmm.
she had that. She's
She had
playing the
social.
middle so
She had
perfectly.
the social game
Yeah.
down. Just
No social game down to a
Like
T.
I really I'm in the same wavelength as you. Like I love strategy. Like that's my favorite thing to watch in any of these competition shows is when people are talking through strategy. My number one pet peeve when I'm watching these shows, and this usually applies to Big Brother, I will say,
Yeah.
is when people will talk through a strategy that makes sense for them and then just not do it, be super passive about it, and just kind of like let their opportunity slide instead of just going for it. Because number one, you are on a TV show at the end of the day. Like, you're not here to be boring. And like, that's literally part of the game is like, you want things to twist up more so in your favor. So why would you not do that? And then number two, it's like, then why are we as the editors even
right.
putting
Yeah.
all of this effort
Right.
into making this a TV spectacle when they're just not going to do anything. it felt like they had to amp it up to make the episode entertaining because they
Right.
didn't do anything with it.
It honestly, if I was the second or third person in the line of like saying what you're gonna do, I'm like, I'm gonna vote for Auntie and Gray because they're threats and I want one of them to be guaranteed to go home. And then I'd look at the girl beside me and I'll be like, do what's fun. Like this is
Right.
gonna, you know.
And I wonder what would have happened if like Asia and Pi had stuck with it and also and voted Gray. Like, would they have done some sort of tiebreaker between Gray and Vivi, or would they
Mhm.
have just put all three of them in the bottom?
Ruin their
Right.
track records. Like throw them all four of them in the bottom. Like if you really wanted to be nasty.
Real.
Like I'm gonna do what I can to win Dragula.
No, real.
I'm not here to play nice. I'll be friends with them after the show. It's fine.
So originally the plan was Auntie and Gray. However, as we've been mentioning, they chickened out. And our bottom two was Auntie with Vivi the Force.
Yeah, and
How
it
do we
was literally it was like a lamb led to the slaughter. Like
Yeah.
everybody knew it. Everyone was like, "Okay, sorry, Vivi, that we're doing this to you."
And then
Like,
like another moment that gave the same energy of like the editors like showing us this one thing or telling us
mhm.
this one thing, but then showing us the complete opposite when everybody was hyping up Vivi as this like lip sync performer girl.
Oh, that
Oh,
annoyed me. That annoyed me because it was like, oh, is Vivi actually gonna like mother a lip sync and
Yeah, she about to
sing?
like send Auntie, especially with how the episode had been going, where they had been like
Right.
kind of dumping on Auntie the whole episode. I was like, is this like a
like a fake
Rome
out?
Survivor type send off where we're just like,
Right.
Just like the complete
before this you were
downfall
a
of
good character,
Vivi.
but now like this is why you're going home. Like, but then it just wasn't. It just wasn't at all.
Speaking of, our extermination was a live lip sync on the spot to Waiting by Dolly.
Mm,
Work.
Work. Like at first I had no idea. I was like, oh, this is a nice song. This is a nice change of pace. Forgetting Dolly
mm,
ever made music.
real.
Just no. Um, but no, overall I was gravitating toward Auntie's performance a little more. Auntie had more of a command from start to finish, to where Vivi, I feel like, was revving herself up and then got there.
And
Hmm.
I'll be real, I don't know if she quite ever got there.
Yeah.
Real. No, very
But
real.
and like if I'm honest,
Hmm.
Angie's lip sync wasn't like
Yeah.
Uh,
groundbreaking
It
either.
Yeah,
wasn't.
no.
Like, can I just be real? I'm just gonna be real again. Like, I'll be the negative Nancy. That'll be my thing, I
You
guess.
wanted to send them both home after that,
Is
didn't
this
you?
new?
No, I
This
didn't.
isn't a new leaf you're turning, girl.
I know
She
it's
said
not a
it's the
new leaf,
same
but
tea leaf. Change the pot, girl.
I've been given public relations like a pep talk off camera.
Oh,
How
I'm
to
sure you
change my
did,
image. How to change my
bitch.
image, but
She's
I'm not paying attention to
rebranding.
that. But I'm not paying attention to it. I'm sticking with the bitch as my go-to.
She said that was a cover up, mama. Like,
But
It
like
was just for HR, so she didn't get
literally,
sued.
literally. But now I'm like denying it. So come on and get me. Um, these like it just feels like it's gotten so drag racy. Like we end in a lip sync as the which I know they did already, but still, it was like
I mean,
we had a
uh,
rusical and then we had a lip sync elimination. Like and Alaska was there.
Oh my God.
Like it felt like the infiltration of Dragula.
Oh my God, Yuri's literally been on Drag Race before. Like, this is
Literally.
too Drag Racy.
That's what I'm saying. But like in all
well,
seriousness, it just felt a little like they had to amp this episode because like every episode of Dragula,
mhm.
I'm like looking out for the extermination thing because it's usually some fucked up shit.
Real.
So when the stakes aren't as high, it does feel a bit like, okay, we have to amp it up with these fake storylines to like get the get the roller coaster moving.
Well,
Angie,
it's a sudden death lip sync. It's a little spooky in the
Aren't all lip
title.
I mean,
syncs
in the
that way?
title, but in general, probably not. Like, oh, okay, bitch.
It's
I,
just boring.
And it would have been gaggy if like if Vivi really turned it out and actually sent Andy
Hmm.
home,
yeah,
but she didn't. And so like it I think everything everything this episode tried to do just fell really flat. And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate because like the this is kind of like a momentum shift for this season because I felt
Hmm.
like the first couple of episodes were really strong, and then it just kind
Yeah.
of like screeched to a halt with this one. It was weird.
I hope it turns
Yeah.
itself back around. I'm not gonna like give up hope yet,
Right.
but it was definitely like a, oh, okay.
I will say for actually, I'll hold that note until the end. But so yeah, the winner of the lip sync was anti-heroine. Like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
which means Vivi was exterminated from the competition
Mhm.
and was given the extermination send-off just like any other. I think she also died on stage.
Uh, Not on stage, but like backstage.
Oh,
Like
okay, backstage.
they filmed the same thing
Yeah,
with
she like her walking off the stage, and I I just want to say something. That one long shot of her walking down the hallway,
For what?
yes.
that I swear to God, that one shot was longer than Scylla's entire extermination.
No,
For
I
real?
was looking. There was for like 2 seconds when Vivi was walking down that long fucking hallway. I was thinking like, is she literally about to like open the door, walk out, and like she didn't die? What does that mean? Cuts to random syringe being like,
She got knocked down a flight of stairs and injected, mama.
yeah.
Dream Girls with a twist.
Oh,
Funny.
sorry, Chanel.
Sorry, channel. Um,
Channel.
channel.
Channel Rome.
Channel Rome.
Channel Rome.
Oh Lord. But I will say out of the final seven, we do have very strong final seven. So I joins the winner's circle. And the only people that currently do not have wins at this time are Jaharia, Yuri, and Grey Matter. And then I think everyone except for Jaharia, Asia, and Pi have been in the bottom.
It's kind of wild to me that Gray doesn't have a win yet.
I feel like everyone left at one point could have potentially gotten a win. I think
Yeah.
Jahari and Yuri could have gotten the win this episode, and Gray, there's definitely been at least one time where they were in the top and had the potential to win.
Hmm.
So
I
like this is a pretty good like final seven in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'd say from here it's anyone's game because there hasn't been out of the final seven that are remaining, there's not been a performance from any of the seven of them that I haven't been too disappointed in or like not forgiving about because they all show exceptional qualities throughout their time currently.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
If
they all bring something really unique too, and I think it's going to be a real good fight until the end.
Hopefully.
there are two questions I want to ask the girls. The first is when are we getting the Dead by Daylight challenge?
Literally, fucking literally. I
I've been waiting for that because do you know about that, Morgan?
Oh, like for the season. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
there's like a Dead by Daylight challenge, and the
Yeah.
winner allegedly will be like in the game with the
I guess it'll be
boulets.
later, so they have less to choose
Well,
from.
we'll get it before the end of the
Yeah.
month
They
because
didn't
Yeah,
want some filler queen being
yeah, right.
the other
They're like,
question
just in
I
case
have,
some random bitch does good.
who do we think is going to get seventh? Who's our next boot prediction?
I could see it being, I mean, I fear that they might have gotten into Jaharia's head a little bit.
yeah,
And so I hope that she can push through, but I fear, like, especially with the kind of storyline they were giving her this episode, that they might be like kind of soft forcing her out, like,
Hmm.
and so I would love to see Jaharia push through, but I could see her being seven.
I could see them dropping Aurora soon,
mm,
just because it feels like her storylines aren't really present anymore. And so, and they already like gave her like the win to make her like, you do belong here. So now it's like
Yeah.
the second you don't do like, you're not on the team that does good or like you do perfect, I feel like they would just be like, okay,
yeah.
you can go.
I feel like that microscope's gonna be on her. It's either to me, it's either going to be Aurora, depending on what the challenge is, or just because Gray has already been in the bottom, I could see it maybe another low or bottom two happening for Gray in that sense, to where they kind of um, falter. But
Mhm.
yeah, either one of them could strike me. But I mean, I've seen less. It wouldn't surprise me if something of this nature, where someone like out of the ballpark just does not do it, happens. So,
Mhm.
anything can
Yeah,
happen.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like between like Asia, Gray, and Auntie, I feel like there's gonna be a gag where we lose one of them.
Yeah. Mhm.
Which kind of excites me because I like when you don't know who's instantly going to be at the end.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I
But I
hope
do
we.
see, sorry,
I
go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was like, I hope we do because right now all of us have the same three people for the final,
Yeah.
and none of them get the
Oops.
raw fact.
I need
Can
them to
we
gag us a bit.
can we talk about how Vivi was kind of disappointing? Sorry, Vivi, if you're watching.
I mean, this is what I expected. I think I called this exactly.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like very much like mid to early boot that like got talked up as a threat, but like wasn't really giving anything, wasn't giving like a storyline or like personality.
Yeah.
Just kind of there.
All right, ladies. Well, that brings us to the end here. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe we'll read your comment in the next video. We always love having a conversation. We want to hear your opinions, so bring them on. Um, but until next time, pleasant dreams, uglies.